Good afternoon or good morning, and welcome to Pope John High School in Sparta, New Jersey. For today's action between the Pope John Lions baseball team and the Mount Olive Marauders, Mike Formasano along with you, calling today's game. The Pope John Lions already on the field. Mount Olive set to go. The Lions 8-10 on the season, 5-5 in the NJAC American Division. Meanwhile, Mount Olive 16-6 overall, 9-1 in the NJAC National. Let's give you the roster for Mount Olive before we begin here. First pitch. Leading off, number 7 is the DH, Liam Shelton. Batting second, number 10, pitcher Braden Longo. Batting third, number 5, Robert Hubbard. He's the right fielder. Batting fourth, number 9, Peter Zokalilo, and he's playing first base. Batting fifth, number 20, Justin Bullock. He's the center fielder. Sixth is Lewis Carter, number 23. He's the left. Batting seventh, number 11, David Harmon, playing second base. Jake Asbury, number 18, he's batting eighth, playing third base. Zachary Broderson, the shortstop, and he is batting ninth. For the Pope John Lions, on the mound for today is number 11, Jack Portman, and his battery mate, Andrew Pammy. Here's the first pitch, swing and a miss. Strike one. Actually, the leadoff batter is got the card very late here, so it's actually Jonathan Moore. Moore, left-handed bat for Mount Olive. Here's the pitch, way outside, 1-1. We'll give you the rest of the defensive alignment for Pope John in just a minute. Here's a pitch by Portman. Ball. In there. Cut the outside corner. 1-2. On deck for Mount Olive, Braden Longo. His pitch, low, 2-2. Playing first base for Pope John today, number 25, Evan Johnson. His second baseman, number 3, Nick Struble. At short, number 20, Will Ryan. And at third base, Miles Masodi, number 15. High, 3-2. Full count now. In left field for Pope John is Brody O'Hara, the center fielder, Joseph Manco, and right field, Jake Pietrowski. Here's a pitch by Portman, fouled off out of play behind home plate. It is a beautiful day out here for baseball on a Saturday morning in middle of May. Temperatures are warmed up. The rain has gone away for now. Outside, and the leadoff man gets on for Mount Olive. So Jonathan Moore works a walk, and now the batter, number 10, Braden Longo. Longo, a right-handed bat. Pope John's last game was Monday against Del Barton. They had a rain out on Wednesday. Pitch is high, 1-0. Jack Portman, the pitcher for today, he had an inside-the-park home run against Del Barton in that game on Monday. That a pitch, inside, almost hit Longo. On deck for Mount Olive, number 5, Robert Hubbard. We'll give you full rosters in between innings. Here's the pitch by Portman. Outside. Now the pitch by Jack. All right, ball 4. So Longo works a walk, and Andrew Pammy out to talk to Portman. Now the batter, number 5, Robert Hubbard. So the Lions had the game Monday against Del Barton, and they had another game scheduled that was rained out. It's going to be made up next Thursday at Del Barton Academy. Meanwhile, coming up on the schedule this Monday, they play home to Don Bosco on Monday, 4:30 p.m. I think with all the rainouts and schedule moving around, I think we're going to be with you for that game. As well as Tuesday at Roxbury. In there, called strike, 0-1. Boys lacrosse doesn't have a game until Wednesday, their last home game of the regular season against Morris Knowles outside. On deck for Mount Olive, number 9, Peter Zokalilo. Portman looks in, deals, fouled off. Pope John in their white uniforms with blue pinstripes and blue socks and the blue caps to say PJ with lions on the front of the uniform. Mount Olive in gray uniforms with red tint, red helmet. Liner, the second, over the glove of Nick Struble and into right for a base hit. Piotrowski gets the throw in quick. Back to second, and Long goes back safely. And now Mount Olive with the bases loaded and nobody out. The batter now for Mount Olive is number 9, Peter Zocolillo. So Portman has worked himself into a jam here in the top of the first. Here's the pitch. In there, called strike. 0-1. Portman looks in, deals. Fouled off, out of play, 0-2. Right behind the Pope John dugout. Oh, 2 to Zocolillo. Portman fires. High, ball 1, just missed. Portman trying to find the strike zone. He's walked a couple of batters. Portman looks, deals. High fly ball, center field. Let's just score a run. Manco back, makes the catch. Throw in to Will Ryan, and a run scores from third as number 14, Jonathan Moore, crosses the plate. And the Mount Olive Marauders take a 1-0 lead. So sacrifice fly for Peter Zocolillo, and Mount Olive scores the first run of the game. 1-0 Marauders over the Pope John Lions. Now the batter, number 22 for the Mount Olive Marauders. Here's a pitch by Portman. Outside, 1-0. '22 is Justin Bullock. And a runner's going. And Portman steps off, and he's got him in a rundown. But he's got to be careful with the runner on third. The throw back, Johnson is going to look him back to second. He's going to run. Try and make the tag. No. Still checking the runner. Struble, the throw. Now the throw home. And it's high, and a run scores. So, tough play for Pope John to kind of manage that as he had the runner in the rundown. The runner tried to avoid him. And then finally, the throw comes home from Struble to Pammy as Mount Olive's runner on third took off for home, slides in safely under the tag of Andrew Pammy. And now manager James Manco out to talk to the umpires to discuss. 2-0 Mount Olive now in the top of the first inning. Sacrifice fly, and then with the runner from first stealing, getting him in a rundown. Runner from third scores. Now the umpire's going to talk about this. The only thing I can think of is that they're saying that Manco's saying that the runner for Mount Olive was out of the baseline. And the umpires say no. So Mount Olive scores, so makes it 2-0. Now, no runners on base. And we have 2 outs because the runner from first to second was tagged out. So 2 outs now, top of the first. All right. 1 ball, 2 strikes to number 22, Justin Bullock. Here's the pitch. Low. 2-2. Down a pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike. All right, 2-1. Here's a pitch by Portman. Outside. Great one. Portman at the belt. Fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Counts full now. It's Bullock on deck for Mount Olive, number 23, Lewis Carter. Here's the pitch. High fly ball, right center field. Struble's out, makes the catch. So Pope John's out at the top of the first, but not before Mount Olive scores a sacrifice fly and a caught stealing from first to second that allows the runner from third to score. We're through a half. Mount Olive leads 2-0 over Pope John. Let's go ahead and stay with you. I'm going to give you the roster since we didn't do that at the beginning of the game. We're going to start with number 4, Max Kohler for Mount Olive. Number 5, Robert Hubbard. Number 6, Nick D'Amico. Liam Shelton is number 7, Chase Shelton. Connor Smith, number 8. Peter Zocolillo, number 9. Braden Longo, number 10. Jonathan Moore, number 14. Zachary Broderson, number 15. Jake Asbury, number 18. Max Bars, 19. Max Wood is number 21. 22, Justin Bullock. 23, Lewis Carter. 36, Ryan Swain. Number 11 is David Harmon. And the manager of the Mount Olive Marauders is Pete Zocolillo. Assistant coach is Mark Bolin. For the Pope John Lions, we'll start with number 2, Drew Sapolsky. Number 3, Nick Struble. Trying to find my Pope John roster here. Number 5, Jason Snyder. Number 6, Andrew Pammy. 8, Alex Rakowski. 10, Beckett Weeks. 11, Jack Portman. 12, Daniel Gigante. 13, Brody O'Hara. 15, Miles Massoni. 16, Jake Piotrowski. 17, Liam Brody. 18, Evan Rose. 19, Brendan Opat. 20, Will Ryan. 21, Lucas Meseros. 23, Patrick Black. 25, Evan Johnson. 29, Liam Jones. 31, Joseph Banco. 45 is Justin Smith. And Mason Giordano out on injury. The president of the Catholic Academy of Sussex County is Father Michael Parisi. The principal of Pope John High School is Gene Emmerich. Athletic director Brian McAleer. Trainers Gerard Graciano and Jordan Martin. The head coach and the manager of the Pope John Lions is James Banco. Assistant coaches Ben Perez, Sean Bierman, Dan Cudiso, Justin Provost, and Peter Corcoran. The scorekeeper for today is Bree Perez. Leading off for the Pope John Lions, number 20, Will Ryan. And here is the first pitch. High fly ball down the left field line. Foul. The starting pitcher for today's game for Mount Olive is number 10, Braden Longo. Behind Will Ryan in the batting order, we have number 2, 25, Evan Johnson. 11 is Jack Portman. In there, called strike. Batting cleanup for the Lions, number 6, Andrew Pammy, he's catching. Nick Struble, the second baseman, number 3, he's batting 5th. Brody O'Hara in the 6th spot, number 13, he is playing left field. Pitched by Longo. Outside. Jake Piotrowski playing right field, number 16, and Evan Rose is the DH, as he is number 18. Miles Massoni playing third, number 15, and Joseph Banco, the center fielder, number 31. His pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Longo gets Ryan down on strikes and 1 down. Here's the defensive alignment for Mount Olive. The catcher of today's game is... trying to get the number off of the jersey because I didn't mark that. That's the one position I didn't mark down, so we'll get that in just a second. First baseman, Peter Zocolillo. The second baseman, David Harmon. Shortstop, Zachary Broderson. Fouled off by Johnson, out of play. The third baseman, number 18, Jake Asbury. Left fielder, Lewis Carter. Center field, Justin Bullock. Right fielder, Robert Hubbard. Pitched by Longo. High. On deck for Pope John, number 11, Jack Portman. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes on Johnson. Here's the 1-2 from Longo. Low. 2-2. Now the pitch by Longo. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts by number 10, Braden Longo, the sophomore. And now, coming to the plate, number 11, Jack Portman. Mount Olive leads 2-0 here, bottom of the first inning. Mike Forbesano along with you, calling today's game here on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Saturday morning here in Sparta, New Jersey. Here's a pitch. Outside, 1-0. On deck, the catcher, Andrew Pammy. Andrew James Banco switching Pammy and Struble in the lineup, so Struble moves down to the 5-hole. Grounded down the first base line, foul. Out of the way of first base coach Ben Perez. So the Lions host Don Bosco on Monday. And I believe we'll be there with you on Monday, 4:30 p.m. right here at Pope John High School. Then on the road on Tuesday, we'll go to Roxbury, and I think we're going to be with you for that. So 3 baseball games in the span of 4 days. I love it. Fouled off. Out of play. On Wednesday, we'll be with you for boys lacrosse, the home finale against Morris Knowles. Pope John Lions boys lacrosse team now 15-1 on the season. Thursday, girls lacrosse. In there, called strike 3. Longo strikes out the side. And Pope John down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. We'll be back to Pope John High School right after this for second inning action. It's Mount Olive 2, Pope John, no score on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Welcome back to Pope John High School in Sparta, New Jersey for Pope John Lions Baseball. Mike Forbesano along with you, calling today's action. The wind's starting to pick up a little bit here. Blowing out to center field, just a touch. Jack Portman back out for his second inning of work. Leading off for Mount Olive is number 23, Lewis Carter, the left fielder. Pitch is in there, called strike. Portman gave up 2 runs in the top of the first inning. Looking to settle down here in the second. Called strike 2. So quickly 0-2 on Carter. On deck for Mount Olive is number 11, David Harmon, second baseman. Down the third base line. Foul. Missed the third base bag by about 6 inches. So the count holds at 0-2. Here's a pitch by Portman. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Carter down on strikes. And now the batter, number 11, David Harmon. So with all the rain in the Sparta area the past few days, the 100 Warren Sussex final in softball has been wiped out twice. Pitch is low to Harmon. So the girls softball team had it rescheduled one more time for Monday afternoon, 4 p.m. at the Phillipsburg Athletic Complex. Now, due to exclusivity issues, we can't cover that game, so we will have baseball for you instead. Pitch inside to Harmon there. If you want to see the softball game, you can tune in BigStateSports.com. and they'll have it exclusively for you. High fly ball. Center field is shallow. Pass Struble into that Bermuda Triangle between the right fielder, center fielder, and second baseman. It drops in for a hit. So one down, and the batter now is number 18, Jake Asbury. Asbury, the third baseman. Got confirmation on the catcher, by the way. It's number 7, Liam Shelton, so my apologies for that. Got the roster right before the game, so no excuses. 1-0 to Asbury. Runner on first, 1 out. 2-0 Mount Olive. Pitch. In there. Called strike. Portman usually works very quickly. Slow down a little bit today. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Possibly to conserve his energy. You know, he's starting today, going longer into the game. Hasn't pitched in about a week. Grounded down to first base line. Will it stay fair? No, just rolls foul, and probably good for Pope John as Portman picked that up. He was in no position to throw over the first base, and there was nobody covering anyway because Johnson was right with him. So would have wound up a hit for Mount Olive had it stayed fair. So a good break for Pope John. 2 strikes to the batter. Portman looks in, deals. High. Now Portman steps off the rubber, checks the rubber runner at first. Gorgeous conditions out here today. A little warm. And it gets past Pammy, and that's going to allow the runner to go to second. I think it was a walk anyway, so. So now the batter, number 15, Zachary Broderson. First and second, 1 out now, as Mount Olive starting to build another rally. Portman with the pitch. In there, called strike. Here's a pitch by Portman. Called strike 2. 0-2 to Broderson. On deck for Mount Olive, number 14, Jonathan Moore. Now the pitch by Portman. Ball. Just off the plate. 1-2. Starting to wind down on these seasons so quickly. Next weekend, Memorial Day. Could you believe it? Here's a pitch by Portman. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's the end of the inning. So we are through an inning and a half here at Pope John High School. It is 2-0 Mount Olive over the Pope John Lions. We'll be right back after this on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Welcome back to Pope John High School in Sparta, New Jersey for bottom of the second action between the Mount Olive Marauders and the Pope John Lions. Mike Formisano along with you as we start the bottom of the second. Leading off for the Lions, number 6, Andrew Pammy. Braden Longo back out for a second inning of work. So the Lions were able to escape that jam in the top of the second. Longo struck out the side in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. Low, ball one. 2-0 Mount Olive here on a beautiful sunshine day. Longo into the wind, fires. High fly ball down the left field line. The left fielder racing over, can't get it. It's a fair ball. It's up against the fence. Pammy to second. And he's going to hold there as left fielder Lewis Carter got the ball in rather quickly once he missed the dive. So Pammy with a leadoff double, and he'll get catcher courtesy. Jason Snyder, number 5, out to run for Andrew Pammy. So Andrew gets the Pope John Lions started in the bottom of the second, no outs. And now the batter, number 3, Nick Struble. So the first hit for Pope John here. And now Nick Struble to the dish. Marauders lead 2-0. Longo deals. Inside. The catcher, number 7, Liam Shelton, jumps on that to make sure that Snyder doesn't take off a third. On deck for Pope John, number 13, Brody O'Hara. Lions 8-10 on the season now, looking to get back to 500. Down the first baseline, just foul. They're 5-5 in division in the NJAC American. With baseball tournament action coming up soon in the state tournaments, we'll wait and see where Pope John is seated. If there's a first round game, I believe that's going to be on Wednesday, May 27th. Down the left field line, base hit by Struble. Pan, here comes Snyder. Snyder is going to score as the throw goes wide. Jason Snyder scores. Nick Struble with an RBI double. And Pope John has cut the Mount Olive lead to 2-1. A nice shot down the left field line by Nick Struble. And Snyder, running for Pammy, was able to race home. And the Mount Olive throw was way wide of home plate. So, an RBI double for Nick Struble. The Lions down 2-1. Here's the pitch to O'Hara. Low gets away. Struble takes off at third, and he's in there standing. So now Pope John with no outs can score on an out. Sacrifice fly. Mount Olive playing at normal depth. They'll concede the run. Longo looks in, deals. Outside. Two and 0 to O'Hara. On deck for Pope John, number 18, Evan Rose. Now the pitch. Outside, 3-0. Chatter coming from the Pope John dugout. The Lions, who had hit so well in the first few weeks of the season, looking to get back to that. Longo with the pitch. Low, ball 4. O'Hara works a walk. And now number 18, Evan Rose, stepping up to the plate. The Lions already have one in here in this bottom of the second. Looking to play another. So now Longo toes the rubber. First and third, no outs. 2-1 Mount Olive. Here's the pitch. In there, called strike. Now Longo deals. Outside, 1-1. Mount Olive scored their 2 runs at the top of the first. Pope John trying to tie the game here in the bottom of the second. Longo deals. Fouled off, out of play, behind the Mount Olive dugout into the woods. 1-2 to Rose. No outs. Bottom of the second. On deck for the Pope John Lions is number 15, Miles Masoni. One and 2 to Rose. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-2. Pope John with games this coming week against Don Bosco here at Pope John High School and on the road at Roxbury. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Rose down on strikes. Now 1 out. The batter, number 15, Miles Masoni. Pope John has actually also rescheduled the Del Barton game for Thursday afternoon at Del Barton Academy. I don't believe we'll be there for that. But if they qualify for the first round, if they don't get a bye in the first round of the state playoffs, I believe those start not this coming Wednesday, next Wednesday, Wednesday the 27th. Here's the pitch by Longo. Swing and a miss by Masoni. 0-1. Mount Olive is still playing at normal depth. So's the outfield. Longo at the belt. Deals. High. 1-0. On deck for Pope John, the center fielder, number 31, Joseph Manco. Struble on third. And O'Hara on first. Longo set. Now the pitch. In there, called strike. Sony went ahead and squared the bunt. Don't know if he pulled it back in time, but the pitch was over the plate. Longo looks in. Now the pitch. Outside. Now Longo deals. Low. That's a full count on Masoni now, 3-2 with 1 out. Braden Longo. Here's the pitch. Popped up down the first base line. Will stay in play. The first baseman out for it. Can't make the play. Ball hits the turf, and we'll do it again. I think Monday's game against Don Bosco is very much going to be the last home regular season game. And so I think we're going to be there for it. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Just cut the black. And Masoni down on strikes. Now the batter with 2 down. It's number 31, Joseph Manco. Mango steps in. And time called by Mount Olive and granted by the umpire. His catcher's going to head out. Goes about maybe 5 feet out to the mound, comes back. Longo trying to work out of a major jam here. First and third, no outs. It's now 2. In there, called strike to Manco. Struble on third, O'Hara on first. Longo deals. Ground foul down the third baseline. On deck for Pope John, number 20, Will Ryan. After the Don Bosco home game on Monday, Roxbury on Tuesday, Del Barton on Thursday, and I think Saturday will be at the Paul Catholic. And then after Memorial Day, the state tournament. Outside. So 1-2 to Manco. Longo 1 strike away from getting out of this jam with only 1 run allowed. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-2. Manco back in. Longo gets what he wants. At the belt. Delivers. High pop up. Shallow left field. The shortstop out. Makes the catch. And Mount Olive works their way out of the jam. Pope John scores 1. But after 2 innings, it's Mount Olive 2. Pope John 1. We'll be back for top of the third action right after this on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. And we're back to Pope John High School in Sparta, New Jersey for top of the third action between the Pope John Lions and the Mount Olive Marauders. Mike Formisano here, calling today's game on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. Umpire making sure the music's turned off. Here we go. Batter number 14, Jonathan Moore, the DH. Here's a pitch by Portman. Grounded down the third base line. Portman races to pick it up. Throw down. He got him. Nice play by Jack Portman to record the out. He fumbled the ball once, picked it up, and then a laser beam to first base, and Evan Johnson reaching for that. And they got Moore by a step. Nice play by Jack Portman. And now 1 down here in the top of the third. So now the batter is the pitcher, number 10, Braden Longo. Portman fires. Low. One and 0 to Longo. And time called. So Monday we were supposed to have senior night for the softball team. They're the one team that hasn't had their senior night yet. But because they're playing in the final of the Huntington Warren Sussex, which has been pushed back a couple times now. High fly ball, center field. Manco. He's under it. Makes the catch. So 2 down now. And the batter, number 5, Robert Hubbard. So because of the softball team having the Huntington Warren Sussex pushed back to Monday, that's why we're going to have the baseball game against Don Bosco on Monday. Not sure when we're going to get to the softball team again. I'm going to find out when they're calling senior night. Same with girls lacrosse. I know we have a scheduled game on Thursday against Immaculata. The game against Phillipsburg on Thursday was canceled. Outside. So we'll basically stream what we can. Baseball on Monday and Tuesday. Boys lacrosse on Wednesday. To second, Struble. Easy play for him. Throws over Oh, and pulled Johnson off the bag. Almost. He just had his toe on the bag as he was able to reach over and record the out. So 1-2-3 for the Lions, and we'll head to the bottom of the third. Mount Olive 2, Pope John 1. We'll be back right after this on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Welcome back to Pope John High School in Sparta, New Jersey for Pope John Lions Baseball. Mike Forbesano here, calling today's game on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. It's the Mount Olive Marauders 2, the Pope John Lions 1. In what has turned out to be a glorious day for baseball here. A little warm, for my taste, but really not a